call this meeting to order. It is 5:11. Just one more check. Miguel, are you on? All right. Ms. Goodman, let the record reflect that myself, Vice President Del Palacio, and Member Sun are present. Motion to approve the regular agenda. Do I have a second? All right. I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Sun? All right. That motion carries. Was that another ding or? Miguel, was that you on the phone?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right, let the record reflect Miguel's here now. He kind of bumped in afterwards, that's fine. All right, we are going to move to our celebrations. I have a couple of great things to celebrate, and I'm going to turn it over first to Superintendent Cayes to recognize our district office.
I just want to clear the record to make sure we're following procedures. When we did the call to order for attendance, did we lock in Miguel so that way the?
When he beeped.
Oh, no, I just want to make sure. But did you ask him?
He wasn't here when I did the first one.
No, I understand. So when he comes in, does it allow him to be on the agenda as present, right? Moving forward?
Yes, she'll just know.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
All right, yeah, so continuing, turn it over to Superintendent Cayes to recognize our district office and administrator of the year. Superintendent Cayes.
Yes, President Chapman, members of the board, I'd like to invite up our ARS team, Adam, Rosalva, and Stacy, to recognize our staff members of the year.
Good afternoon, President Chapman, Vice President Del Palacio, Superintendent Cayes, Ms. Goodman, Member Sun. It is my privilege to recognize Dr. Bill Sorensen as the Tolleson Union High School District Administrator of the Year. One of the things that stands out most about Bill is that he would probably prefer not to be standing here right now. He is not someone who seeks recognition or attention. In fact, if you ask him about the success of La Jolla Community High School, he'll quickly shift the focus to his staff, his students, and his leadership team. Honestly, that's exactly why he deserves this recognition. Under Bill's leadership, La Jolla earned its first A label, a tremendous accomplishment that reflects years of intentional work, high expectations, and a relentless commitment to students. But what makes this achievement especially meaningful is how it was accomplished. Bill has built a culture grounded in trust. He empowers people. He develops leaders. Not just assistant principals, but teacher leaders, counselors, coaches, support staff, and students across his entire campus. People at La Jolla feel valued, supported, and trusted to lead. His team has built strong relationships with faculty and staff, meaningful connections with students, and authentic partnerships with the community. These relationships are not accidental. They are a direct result of Bill's leadership and the culture he has helped create. And while I could talk about data, programs, or school improvement, what really captures who Bill is can be seen simply by walking his campus. He is present, he is visible, he is constantly interacting with students and staff, checking in, encouraging people, and building relationships one conversation at a time. When I have the limited free time I do, I moonlight as a wrestling official with the AIA, and I was at a tournament back in the wintertime, and this young lady from La Jolla comes onto my mat. And we had a few extra minutes, and the other girl wasn't ready yet. And I said to her, hey, how's Dr. Sorensen doing? She says, man, I see that guy like 5 times a day. Dr. Sorensen, thank you for your leadership, your humility, and your unwavering commitment to the students and staff of La Jolla Community High School. Congratulations on being the TUHSD Administrator of the Year.
Good evening, President Chapman, Vice President De Palacio, board members, Superintendent Cayes. Today, I have the pleasure to present Oscar Gironi for the Outstanding Administrator Award. As school counselor coordinator for Tolleson Union High School District, Oscar has provided focused, visionary leadership that has strengthened the counseling department and expanded support for students, staff, and families. He leads with dignity, professionalism, and a steadfast commitment to doing what is best for all students. His impact is evident in both the systems he has built and the trust he has earned across the district. Oscar has brought direction, clarity, and innovation to the counseling program. He has coordinated and delivered professional learning grounded in best practices, expanded counselors' access to high-quality development, and partnered with Hatching Results to strengthen both virtual and in-person training. He also helped lead the shift from a traditional guidance model to a comprehensive school counseling model by developing a new mission and vision supporting the creation of an updated evaluation instrument and designing practical tools that counselors can use every day. What distinguishes Oscar's most is his servant leadership. Colleagues consistently describe him as a positive, dependable, innovative, and deeply committed to helping others succeed. He is known for looking beyond barriers to find solutions, for welcoming feedback, and for creating meaningful opportunities for counselors to grow in their practice. His leadership extends far beyond his title. He has supported advanced placement testing across campuses, partnered with departments throughout the district, and collaborated with teams to improve access, resource, and support for both staff and students. He leads major efforts such as Commitment Day, securing more than 135 community, business, college, university, and trade partners to expand post-secondary opportunities for students. An extraordinary example of his support and dedication. And then I just wanted to take some time to read some of the counselor's quotes. So this is from Paula Oxford. Oscar is a focused leader who has a strong vision for our department. He isn't afraid to do the hard work, and he has the skills and experience to make real change. We are thankful for his go-getter attitude and support. Another counselor, Cecily Chang, Oscar has done a great job as a counselor coordinator, bringing direction and clarity to the counseling department. His innovative ideas have contributed meaningful to our progress. He is dependable and can always be counted on to follow through and provide support. Oscar Gironi is the kind of administrator every district hopes to have, a leader with a vision, a heart of service, and the persistence to turn ideas into lasting improvements for students and staff. His generosity of time, his advocacy for school counselor, and his ability to build strong system and strong relationships have made him invaluable to the Tolleson Union High School District. He is deeply deserving of this recognition and the gratitude that comes with it. And because Oscar is so special, he has a special clap. So if you can join me.
Good evening, President Chapman, Vice President Del Palacio, and members of the board. Tonight we recognize someone whose work often happens behind the scenes, but whose impact is felt across our entire district, someone who shows up with consistency, care, and a true spirit of service. It is my absolute honor to present this year's Classified Administrator of the Year Award to Miss Melissa Chansey. Melissa has served our district since January of 2011. She has demonstrated a remarkable level of dedication, dependability, and service that has made a lasting impact across departments and campuses. If you've ever worked in HR, payroll, or business services, you know that ERP is where details matter. where accuracy, timelines, and compliance are not optional. Melissa handles that responsibility with professionalism and calm, and she does it while being one of the most approachable people you'll ever meet. One of the things that sets Melissa apart is how selfless she is with her time and expertise. When another department needs help pulling time-sensitive information, navigating a report, or troubleshooting a process, Melissa doesn't respond with, "That's not my area." She responds with, "Yes, let's figure it out." She'll jump in even if she's on the clock. Sorry, even if she's off the clock. And just as important as what Melissa does is how she does it. She brings a positive attitude to every interaction, patient, kind, and solution-oriented. Even when the issue is complex and the pressure is high, she stays steady and supportive. One of her many colleagues who she's worked very closely with, Ms. Teresa, stated she consistently demonstrates exceptional professionalism, collaboration, and a strong systems thinking mindset in all that she does. With a deep commitment to customer service and supporting those around her, she approaches every interaction with positive intent, kindness, and integrity. She is always willing to step in and assist on projects at the moment's notice, without hesitation, ensuring both team and organizational success. Her ability to see the bigger picture while fostering strong working relationships makes her an invaluable colleague and someone I truly value working alongside. Melissa, thank you for your years of service, for your willingness to help, especially when it's outside your scope, and for the professionalism and positivity you bring every day. Your work strengthens our systems, and your character strengthens our culture. Please help me in congratulating Ms. Melissa Chansey.
Members, any comments? No. Thank you. Congratulations to all of our staff members who are recognized this evening. Just a lot of great stories, tremendous work. I know HR, when I popped in there here and there, I've definitely seen Melissa running around or super busy supporting our staff. Certainly know that that Dr. Sorensen's not always in his office, even when I popped by a couple of weeks ago and found you in the pack orchestrating everything. But I saw your tote chart on the wall. I appreciate the intentionality of the classroom visits, and obviously, well done. First A letter grade for La Jolla. Tribute to your leadership, certainly, and the work of your staff and students, but definitely your leadership and vision over there. Absolutely. And then, there's also, you're still here. I thought I saw you sneak out the door there. Oscar, obviously picking up commitment day, running the ball there. And you've definitely helped out the foundation this year with the scholarship application process and helping us kind of streamline that. So thank you for all your guys' work on and off the clock. Congratulations, well deserved. I know some of our families are still here maybe. If you could also please stand, and we appreciate you for allowing your spouses to be here and support our district. I'll turn it over to my colleagues.
Yeah, no, congratulations to all, so well deserved. We're so thankful that you choose this district and you dedicate your time to not only this organization, but to ultimately our students. And so we want to thank you for spending that time with us. And again, as my colleague said, thank the families for, we understand these folks sometimes live at this school because they care. They're here all the time. So I want to thank the families as well for sacrificing their time from their loved ones to help serve our students. So please, another round of applause for our awardees.
All right, congratulations again. We have one more celebration here. Stanford Children Arizona is going to award an amazing scholarship to one of our students, and I'm going to ask Georgina to please step up and share that. Thank you.
Thank you, President Chapman, members of the board, for having me today. I'm so happy to be here to award a $20,000 scholarship to a first-generation college student, Jeanette Hernandez, in recognition of her dedication and her service to her community. So we have this little plaque, and We're very thrilled. We also have some swag for her and some Diamondbacks tickets. So again, we're really excited for Jeanette and anything and everything you're going to accomplish. She's going to ASU to study nursing. So we hope to see her back in her community. So thank you again for having us.
Well, definitely thank you, Georgina and Stan, for recognizing one of our students. Congratulations. Wow, $20,000, that's incredible. And so your family, feel free to keep going to get the pictures, but also get a round of applause for your family, for all their support. And congratulations again, and good luck at ASU, colleagues. All right. With that, that concludes our celebrations. We're going to take a brief break. We do have some delicious cookies and water over here to enjoy, so feel free to grab a snack. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. So, thank you.
Excellence in academics.
Excellence in athletics.
Excellence in college and career readiness.
Excellence in extracurriculars.
Excellence in traditions.
Excellence in services. Excellence in visual performing arts.
Excellence in every endeavor.
We're just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot more work to do. So where do we go from here? A+ School of Excellence.
La Jolla being an A school is really exciting. It took a long way to get here and it was a lot of hard work, so it's really cool to see the accumulation of our work and then now seeing it's like, look at all that hard work paid off.
It's great recognition for the kids that we have, which are some awesome kids, and the teachers, that all the work that they've done in all curriculum, all classes, the dedication they have to make our students' lives better, the time that they put in. I think it's showing all the effort that a lot of people have put into this.
And when I started in 2017, we were a C. And so now
being an A and being a part of that growth and change is really, if I think about it too hard, I might cry because it's really cool. We deserve that.
The thing that put us over the edge is that we had a principal who was steadfast in his commitment and consistency with how he wanted to approach staff, along with getting the right administrative team in play. Now I think we've got a team that works well together, that understands the mission, that understands the vision, and that we all support that and help the faculty understand that as well.
I think the journey has been 3 years long, so the A label is not just 1 year flash in the pan, we found something glorious. It is an accumulation of 3 years of work, commitment to the PLC process, and commitment to student learning over teaching, and that commitment has resulted in higher test scores.
It's definitely a team effort. I know that was one thing Dr. Sorensen really hit on today is from our support staff to cafeteria workers to everybody on campus every day. It makes a big difference to how we got here. So a big thank you to everybody, including our students. You know, students are a big part of it too. So it's just great for the community and great for everybody in the Avondale area.
I'm so happy for these kids. Of course, we're here, celebrating as a staff, but this is 100% about the kids. And I'm very happy for them. I couldn't be happier that we're in this position and that to let you all know, we're not done. We're going higher than this.
We deserve this. We've earned it. I think I'm lucky because I've gotten a front row seat and I've gotten to be a part of this growth. So we just keep going.
Something I would like to add on is Dr. Sorensen put in a lot of work, and I think that should be recognized, and he really drove it. And I know sometimes it's hard and he gets pushback, or he's hearing all of these 125 teachers be like, ah, but we're doing it. I'm really proud of him.
Well, now that we're A, that just means we have to grind even harder because we have to maintain the A. That's the expectation. This needs to be something that just is. It's just what we do. Next up is A+ School of Excellence. Next up is IB World School. Next up is multiple A ratings all in a row until we are the perennial high school in Arizona, in the nation, and the world.
Sierra Linda is on the rise. Whether our students dream of going to college, joining the military, or finding the perfect career after graduation, we will be there every step of the way.
Go Sierra Linda!
We believe the high school experience should be filled with unforgettable moments.
My plans for after graduation would have to be attending Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology.
My school is my community.
My favorite thing about Sierra Linda has to be all the opportunities on campus, including the electives you can choose, the clubs, and the sports on campus.
Sierra Linda offers career and technical education options, performing and visual arts electives, 17 different sports, and more than 30 student clubs. We believe in your path, your future, your school. Join us. Let's rise together.
ranks. We are the #1 public high school.
University High School has consistently been an A school and recognized as a top public school in the state as well as the nation.
Just a testament to the hard work that our kids put in, no matter what the variables are, the continuity and the continued sense of excellence is really what makes this special.
Every year is special, and every year I say, I'm not going to get attached to these freshmen, so someday I can retire, and that never happens.
Our students are, of course, motivated by academic achievement, but that's not the totality of who our students are. Offering them opportunities for volunteer work, clubs that give them opportunities to give back to their community. That's a big part of it too.
We are defying the odds and making a huge difference in our kids' lives. And this makes a difference in college knowing and going, as well as the future careers and even the networks that they are establishing and evolving in their future. As they
Reconvene the regular meeting. All right, our next section is summary of current events. I will turn it over to Superintendent Calles.
Yes, President Chapman, members of the board. Our first current event is to celebrate Miss Angela Garcia. I think she was out there. Come on up. Go ahead and take a stand at the podium. We are happy and proud to announce that our very own Angela Garcia has been selected as the 2026 Arizona McKinney-Vento Homeless Liaison of the Year by the Arizona Housing Coalition in partnership with the Arizona Department of Education. Yes, I appreciate all the extra woos, Christina. This recognition honors Angela's exceptional commitment to ensuring that students and families experiencing homelessness have access to stable, supportive, and equitable educational opportunities. Her work has strengthened how we identify and serve students across the district, streamlined systems and processes, and expanded access to critical resources that remove barriers to student success. Angela has led meaningful improvements in our McKinney-Vento program, including strengthening identification practices, providing ongoing training and support for social workers and site staff, coordinating transportation to maintain school stability, and expanding partnerships that connect families to essential services. Her leadership has had a direct and lasting impact on some of our most vulnerable students and families. Angela was formally recognized at the Arizona Housing Coalition annual conference in May. Please join me in congratulating her on this well-deserved recognition. Congratulations, Angela. We're incredibly proud of you. And then I believe we have Heather Eaton in the audience. Heather, come on down. You could stay at the podium while I say some good things about you. All right, since 2011, the Arizona Career and Technical Education Curriculum Consortium has engaged educators across Arizona to collaboratively develop instructional resources and craft curriculum for their CTE program areas. Through the CTE Curriculum Connection, member district CTE teachers have access to nearly 5,000 instructional days worth of standards-aligned curriculum and instructional resources. We here at TUHSD have educators from our district who contributed this year. Heather Eaton, a film and TV production teacher at La Jolla Community High School. Is Skylar Stevens also present or no? No, not. Okay. And Skylar Stevens, a digital photography teacher at Copper Canyon, have contributed information to this platform. The CTE Curriculum Connection would also like to express their gratitude to our CTE Director, George Moreno, and CTE Coordinator, Efrain Ferrillo, whose support makes these connections possible. The CTE Curriculum Connection stated what a pleasure it is for them to work with our CTE administrator, staff, and students, so congratulations out to our CTE team. All right, do we have any of our National Spanish Exam medalists here tonight? I don't know if they made it out. No? Okay. Congratulations to our National Spanish Exam medalists. Several West Point High School students earned national recognition for outstanding performance on the 2026 National Spanish Exam. The National Spanish Examinations are administered each year and are sponsored by the American Association of Teachers of Spanish and Portuguese. In this year's competition, members of the National Spanish Honor Society achieved impressive honors. Spanish 3-4 student Jolina Oviedo Verhoeven earned a bronze medal. Azul Gonzalez earned a silver medal, while AP Literature students Ana Leon and Devon I. Aces Cruz earned gold medals on the 2026 National Spanish Exam. Earning a medal or honorable mention on the National Spanish Exam is a testament to our students' dedication and hard work. We are proud of our students and we congratulate them on their achievement, and we look forward to next year's Spanish National Exam. So congratulations on their accomplishments this year. Thank you to those students. And at Copper Canyon, do we have any of our Copper Canyon students here tonight? Looking at Bo, no? Okay. Copper Canyon students won a number of awards at the National French Competition Grand Concours this year. Those students were National Laureates, silver medals, second-year competition, Lena Isaac, Marlon Rodriguez. Honorable mentions, second-year competition, Eunice Olivet, Naomi Johnson, and Jandra Soraro. Honorable mention, first-year competition, Julian Rodriguez. Congratulations to these students for seizing the opportunity and representing their school and our district with distinction. So congratulations out to our Copper Canyon students. The AIA Night of Champions Award Show in Arizona is an annual recognition event run by the Arizona Interscholastic Association. It honors outstanding Arizona high school students, coaches, teachers, officials, administrators, and schools for excellence both in competition and character. Westview senior Jaden Phelps. Is Jaden Phelps here? Come on down, Jaden. Jaden was recognized as Unified Athlete of the Year. Westview senior Anthony Houston. Is Anthony present tonight? No? Okay. Was recognized as Unified Partner of the Year. Only one unified athlete and one unified partner in Arizona received this recognition from the AIA, so we are so incredibly proud of the Knights for this accomplishment. All right, University High School students worked with Wild at Heart recently to rebuild a burrowing owl habitat. The original habitat was built about 10 years ago, and the underground tubes had collapsed, causing an unlivable space for these tiny creatures to nest. Though not on the endangered species list, burrowing owls are considered a species of concern in Arizona. Development and urban sprawl has taken over many of their natural habitats. The rebuild habitat was a day-long process, so thank you out to all of those at University High to help create new homes for those owls. And that's just a few of the things since our last board meeting.
All right, thank you, Superintendent Calles. Members, any updates? Member Ortega Romero? Miguel, you still with us? Oh, there you are. Oh, perfect. I summoned him. Do you want to wait and I can come back to you? All right, Member Sun.
I just want to congratulate once again to all the seniors that has graduated this past week. As a proud governing board member of our district, I wanted to emphasize the milestone they've achieved. It's not lost on us, year after year, how much we all put in to get them to that stage, and we all know that they've definitely carried the lion's share, and that we all here supporting them, but particular to the teachers and staff, the district's members, and all the guidance that we provided them, and of course their families and their choice in bringing their children to our district for their high school experience. And I hope and wish for the best for them. And as they begin their summer, I want them to, remember our district logo, greatness in every endeavor, and how that, looks like, will be differ for every one of them. But my heart goes out to them and whatever their future holds, whether it be a short break or jumping in and starting whatever they are passionate about. And of course, thanks again to everyone that was involved in their graduation and their achievements. And we will continue on and, start again as always. But it's always bittersweet to see them off to their bright futures. I wish them the best. Thank you.
Vice President Del Blasio.
Yes, thank you. We're just coming off the heels of what I call our Super Bowl, which was our 2-day graduation event. And let me tell you, what a spectacular 2 days that was. Stands filled with families, parents, aunts, uncles, tias, grandmas, I mean, you name it, cheering loud for their kiddos. The kids were super excited and well-behaved. It just went off, all graduations were just smooth. And I want to thank our staff who put a ton of work in ensuring those 2 days go as smooth as possible. So can we get a round of applause for anyone that was involved with planning the graduations? I mean, and it was also special to see some of our staff here get to hand their diplomas to their kids. A lot of school districts, I don't know many school districts that offer that opportunity, but it was so cool to see our staff hand their diploma to their kid who probably didn't want them doing it. You know how kids are. But they're going to appreciate it, I promise. I did it a couple years ago with my kid, and what a special moment that is to be there. I mean, these kids work hard all year long. The staff work hard all year long to get them where they need to be. Their families are on their butts getting them where they need to be just for that one day, for them to walk across the stage to grab that diploma. And so that was very special. So again, I want to thank everyone involved with that. And then again, also, we just want to acknowledge all the celebrations that were shared in the superintendent update. A lot of times we hear about the challenges, but we also have to recognize there's a lot of good happening, a lot of magic happening every single day, and our kids are doing that. Our staff are doing that. And so congrats to all the folks who were recognized today. Thank you.
Mr. Rodrigo.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off of what my peers here have said. Graduation, we just got done with that, but it was an amazing event where we're able to celebrate, really coming to this new chapter where, early adulthood, you're able to really navigate what you want to do for, it doesn't have to be for the rest of your life, but for the next chapter, I should say. And, always a special moment to celebrate with families and community members. And then, a bunch of the celebrations that were shared today, congratulations to the winners. Sorry, not winners, award winners, I should say. And yeah, just a lot of great things happening here. Thank you.
Yeah, no, just also real quick, I think Heather's still here, Angela, I think Jaden had to pop out, but thank you all for your work in the district, your support of our students every single day. We appreciate all your efforts. And then, yeah, just graduation was phenomenal. 2 days worth of fun and excitement. Said this, the energy of the crowd, the students. So I want to thank, it's a whole production. Our PR team is running around there. You probably saw them running around like crazy with all the cameras. Our facilities team helps with some of the setup. Our transportation department busing in. Our band and choir students and equipment. Our OLOS team has been taking the lead in helping run and orchestrate that, and certainly to our site administrators and teachers who help with all the last minute things and making sure that our kids are walking across the stage, whether it's a front flip, a back flip, or just walking through like normal, like they're supposed to. It's always exciting to, it's always an exciting event. So thank you all for all the work you did coordinating graduation day, but certainly the last 4 years for those kids, getting them to that point has been critical. So hopefully everyone has some nice, fun summer plans, even though we're gearing up, obviously, for next school year. But appreciate all the work that went into graduation day. And with that, we're going to move on to our public participation. We do have some requests. Folks will have 2 minutes at the microphone. I don't believe Adon is here. All right. Our first speaker will be Sarahi Rodriguez. And you'll have 2 minutes.
Hello, good afternoon, Stephen Chapman, Devin DePalacio, and Governing Board, as well as the Superintendent. My name is Sarai Rodriguez, and I'm currently an Administrative Assistant in the Nutrition Service Department. I am here today to formally present concerns I believe require serious and independent review. Over approximately 6 months, I repeatedly reported concerns to Human Resources and District leadership regarding what I experienced as retaliation, bullying, harassment, and hostile conduct by my direct supervisor. These reports were made through meetings, written communications, and formal complaints, beginning after an incident on 11/3/2025, during which she clenched her fist, raised her voice, and yelled a directive at me, with only Dulce Castañeda present. Despite these reports, I remained in the same reporting structure and continued to experience what I believe to be retaliatory conduct, including exclusion from communication, changes in treatment following my complaints, including a change in my schedule the day after I reported this incident. I also experienced this environment as unsafe and hostile. I requested a third-party investigation due to concerns about how the process was being handled, including HR's handling of protected complaints involving staff supervised by the same supervisor. Because the behavior continued and I was not removed after following governing board policy and the chain of command, I developed concerns about the independent review of the process. I was later informed that internal human resource personnel believed to be involved in the matter would also participate in the review of the process. During this time, I also raised concern about performance evaluations and corrective action processes were occurring while I was actively reporting misconduct, and I was not provided a clear process to address these concerns. Although I continue to raise these issues with multiple members of leadership, including human resources and all supervisors, I did not receive a resolution that addressed the concerns, and many of my communications went unanswered for extended periods and months. I am also aware that other employees raised similar concerns or submitted resignations from the same leadership environment under the same supervisor, including Diana Barraza, Melinda Madla.
Ms. Rodriguez, I apologize, your time is up. I will ask Superintendent HR to follow up and get more information, though. So I apologize.
Point of order. President Chapman, you cannot be responding in
I'm
a
not
public
responding.
comment.
I can
It doesn't
respond to
matter.
the
You can
superintendent. I
just
know what I'm
make
doing.
a
Please just be
statement.
quiet. We will follow. Sorry, this is 2
That's
minutes for the
point of
speaking
order.
as well,
That
so
is
thank you,
uncalled
appreciate
for,
it.
unprofessional statements.
next
Could you restrain yourself from
Yes,
making
thank you.
extra comments?
We will,
Could you restrain yourself from making?
ask
Can you
superintendent to
apologize
follow
for
up,
that
so thank you.
statement? You cannot be speaking of the board in that
Our
way.
next speaker will be Clark Hochstein and Charlie Golek. Right, it is just 2 minutes, even if it's both of you.
Thank you so much. I'm Clark Hochstein, and this is Charlie Golek. I'm with Consultant Engineering, and Charlie is with Kimley Horn. We're here to talk about the 96th Avenue pedestrian bridge. Consultant Engineering has been working with the City of Tolleson on acquiring the necessary property rights to move this project along. Offers were emailed out to everyone on the board, as well as you, Superintendent Calles, on April 29th. And the offer was for fee title and also a temporary construction easement. I also brought with me hard copies of the offer package that was emailed out to the group, as well as plan sheets that you can see the renderings. Charlie is now going to step up and talk about some of the technical aspects.
So the main goal of this project is safety. The existing condition at the Van Buren and 96th Avenue intersection is a rapid flashing beacon. There are 300 to 400 pedestrians in the morning and afternoon. The city evaluated several alternatives, including a hawk signal, a traditional traffic signal, and a bridge. They obtained federal funding for the bridge alternative for this project. It's restricted to this project and can't be mingled with other projects or other matters. It's specific to this alternative. The proposed alternative features an elevator on both sides. It's ADA compliant, stairs and landings on both sides. There are aesthetic treatments and lettering and DMS signs. And yeah, we just want to answer any questions you might have. Understood.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Our next public comment is from Dale Magnuson.
Don't let the calm exterior fool you.
I live by a philosophy that confidence is the feeling you have until you understand the problem. I've been in Arizona now for 5 years, and every year it seems like I get this request for override of whatever, and huge amounts requested for for the schools, and not even a mention of any projects that are coming up. And why go through all this projection stuff? Why not just wait till the first day of school and say, okay, we now know how many students we have. It doesn't take a mental giant to figure out that up in Westview area that there's a lot of building going on. There's going to be an increase there. So it seems to me that you could save a lot of money by just doing it that way. And I don't see how you can ignore 29% of the students in this area are not in public schools. That has got to be a concern. And based on what I've learned over the last little while, there's been things that have gone on with this board that need to be looked into seriously. And I think it would be imprudent for anyone to sign off on another bond issue or whatever lift it is without any further information than we've had in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Melissa Grimscheid.
I just want to make sure Lupita gets her full time. Okay. Good evening, President Chapman, Vice President Del Palacio, members of the board, Superintendent Kayes, Ms. Goodman. I am Melissa Grimscheid, and I'm proud to serve as the president of the Tolleson Union Education Association. I am here tonight to remind you all of the things that our students have access to through our maintenance and operations override that students in neighboring districts do not. My students, our students, on a daily basis have access to more school counselors. We have a lower student to counselor ratio than surrounding districts. Our students have access to behavior interventionists and social workers because teachers are not qualified to deal with some of the big adult issues our students are facing. Our students have access to nurses and health office assistants, whereas students in neighboring districts do not. Our students have access to actual, real librarians, where other districts are cutting those positions. Our students have access to in-school support specialists, so those tough behaviors can be addressed outside the classroom. Our students have access to more security guards, more adults on campus who can not only build strong relationships with them, but also set the boundaries that our teenagers need. Our students have access to bus drivers and bus monitors with longevity in our districts, meaning that they see that same smiling face every single day. Our students have access to assistant coaches that other districts might look for volunteers. Our students have access to instructional assistants, not just our ESS students, but our general education students in their math and English classes. Our students have access to more caring adults because of our maintenance and operations override. And I ask that as you are looking tonight, that you vote yes to put it on the November ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Michael Connor.
Thank you, President Chapman, Vice President Del Palacio, the board, and definitely Mr. Kayes. I rise today in support of our bond. This year was my very first year being an assistant basketball coach here at Westview High School. We actually made it to the open playoffs for the first time in Westview's history. But to be able to do that, we have to share a lot of space. At Westview High School, we only have one gym. That's it, one basketball court. It's all we've got. We do have a caffeinasium, but that's playing basketball on concrete. It's very, very difficult to do. We have to split our time on our courts for 6 teams, 3 girls, 3 boys, freshmen, JV, varsity, plus spirit line, plus archery, plus band is now wanting to use it for the exact same time. Juggling that takes a lot of time and energy and effort on all of our parts. using this bond, if we look at the presentations coming up pretty soon, everything from this bond is going to build buildings, including gyms, either auxiliary gyms or new gyms on pretty much most of our campuses. We need those. Our campuses are growing, our student populations are growing, we are bringing kids in faster than we've ever done before. And if I can toot my horn just a little bit, over at Westview, we just had one of the highest graduation percentages we've ever had. We've had increasing scores on our ACT test, which I run a lot of the ACT programs at my school. All of that comes back from our maintenance override, from our staff, and from what this board and our superintendent has put forward. Please put this bond on the next election, and I hope our community passes it, because we truly do need it, because every one of those dollars goes right back into our community to build our schools, to build our facilities, and to make our students the best they can be possibly in the best state of Arizona. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. That is our public comment portion. All right. That moves us to our consent agenda. Make a motion to approve our consent agenda. Do I have a second?
So moved.
All right. I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sun? All right. That motion carries. Thank you. All right. On to our action discussion items. H1 is discussion to approve the special bond election. I will turn this over to Superintendent Calles.
Yes, President Chapman, members of the board. We have Bryra here from DLR Architect Group, as well as Brian here from Stiefel. Bryra will first to present on the projects that are being considered for this bond, and then Brian will be able to address tax rates and how that'll impact tax rates.
Good evening, President Chapman, Vice President De Palacio, members of the governing board. I am Bryra Podine with DLR Group, and for the last couple of months, we have been working very closely with district leadership to identify campus-wide projects for each of your high school campuses in support of the upcoming bond. On the screen here, what you will see is actually if we were to accept all of the really great projects that we have identified for each of the campus, what those potential costs could be. So right now, we would be looking at about $524 million, projected to about $589 million. So there are a couple of things to consider when we look at these numbers. Of course, there is an escalation. So every year that we wait, or because we don't know when each project will be starting, there is a 6% consideration. The other thing to note is that I talk about overall project costs, not just construction costs. So project cost considers all of soft and hard costs. So that is your design fee, your permitting fee, your insurance, your contingency, all of those great things. So this is a very high level, and what I'd like to do next is just kind of walk you through some of just the projects that were identified for these campuses. At Tolleson Union High School, some of the projects that were identified with the help of district leadership was the addition of an ROTC obstacle course, canopies, a courtyard, a new gym, a new university high, a sports complex of some sort, the widening of the Wolverine Way, laser leveling all of your softball, baseball fields. You'll see that the new gym and new university high are highlighted, and the only reason that they are highlighted is because they are projects that require just a really large investment. So if we were to add all of these projects together, we're looking at approximately about $124 million to $140 million for just Tolleson Union High School. In the next campus, we have Westview High School, and some of the projects that were identified here were simple maintenance things. So there were items like repairing steps, replacing some of the elevators, the perimeter fencing, again, some courtyard renovations, overall just kind of improving the overall exterior space. We talked about demoing of the portables. We know the ROTC building, the field house. There was also lots of discussion about a gym expansion, upgrading the PACT, and then of course, exterior painting, weatherization. So that's just general maintenance on the campus. And then of course, the laser leveling of the fields. You see again in highlighted the gym expansion and the upgrade to the PAC because those are high investment projects. So with this, just for Westview, we would be looking at about $133 million up to $149 million potentially for these projects. Next one is La Jolla Community High School. So the projects identified for this campus were the courtyard, exterior painting, weatherization. Again, this is just your general maintenance. There is also a need for some painting to happen on the inside. So, and the other one is perimeter fencing, resurfacing your parking lots, replacing some of the interior gym doors, foundations, the renovation of the PAC, replacing a canopy that's not really standing really well, an auxiliary gym for this, and then again, the laser leveling of the fields. If we were to add all of these projects, we'd be looking at $56 to $63 million, again, highlighting the renovation of the PAC and auxiliary gym as high-ticket invested projects for this campus. On the next one, we have Copper Canyon High School. Here are some of the projects that were identified. Again, the renovation of the field, so that includes just overall maintenance. The patio, there's some expansion of some of the storage areas, the courtyard, the fencing, repairing of the overall concrete, the field restrooms, renovation of the PAC again, right, and the auxiliary gym. And so if we were to add all of these projects together, the cost for these would be around $54 million to $60 million. Again, with the high ticket items being the renovation of the PAC and the auxiliary gym. The next campus, Sierra Linda High School. Here, some of the projects that were identified was, again, the perimeter fencing upgrade, interior renovation of the painting, upgrading all of the flooring in the campus to be polished concrete, repairing some rain gutters, a new roof, a canopy for some golf carts, laser leveling the fields, and again, adding that auxiliary gym. If we were to add all of these projects together, the cost would be around $28 to about $31 million. The next campus is West Point High School. In this, we would be looking at perimeter fencing, your exterior painting, your basic maintenance, landscape improvements, the laser leveling of the fields, and then again, an auxiliary gym here. The estimated cost for this is around $19 million to $21 million, with, again, the landscape and the auxiliary gym being some big ticket investment numbers. And then there are some additional projects as well. So one would be the addition of the CEA campus, right, remodeling the existing building A and building B here. And so for that, we're looking at approximately $20 million to $22 million for that. The other project is with the growing district, there is potentially a new CTE high school, so potentially the project cost for that would be anywhere from $80 to about $90 million. And then of course, your operations and maintenance, so this is all of your campus equipment and uniforms and furniture and fixtures and resources. And then your transportation, you've got a line item for about 1.75 to 1.9 for maintenance and transportation, 5.5 to 6.1. With that summary, we understand that these are really, really high numbers if we're going to be in support of the bond. And so if we wanted to take a look back and potentially just look at reducing that, we could do so by, for example, at Tolleson Union High School, there was a need for a gym, so we could reduce that, so that would bring down costs there for about $80 million. For Westview High School, again, the same sort of like feedback was given with the gym, so we could potentially remove that, and that would be about $36 million. The need for the auxiliary gym for each La Jolla, Copper Canyon, Sierra Linda, West Point would be a reduction at about $9 million. And then if we were not to prioritize maybe the new CTE campus, we could look at reducing $80 million. So if we took and we just reprioritized some of the projects, we could potentially reduce that by $232 million. So instead of looking at $524 million, we could be looking at $292 million up to $356 million. And that's taking away the big ticket items. That's really leaving just the maintenance, just the sort of like general items that you would have. If we would like to further bring that down, we can definitely have the conversation with district leadership and identify maybe just reducing square footage or prioritizing buildings that we just need to reduce cost at. Thank you.
All right, I know we have two parts here. Do we want to take questions on the, yeah, let's take questions first on like the proposed projects. So, members, any questions on the proposed projects?
Yes. So if we were to implement every project that is on the list here, and say everything's been built out and everything, like the wish list is complete.
Yes.
We get the best campus, the best renovation for all 7 campuses. So we're going to do this all at once.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be $500 million.
524. That's correct, my son.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are voting on and pushing for all projects done, every one of them now.
No, let me
Well,
clarify.
not right
Yeah.
now, not right
this
now.
This is the total list of needs. That is
Yes.
not what's being asked for.
No,
Yes.
the need is 500 and change, 524 million. So the bond we're going to go out for is about half of that. And of course, we're going to scale back and then hopefully run future bonds to get that wish list, that we will get everything that every campus want. But we're going to start at 250 out of this need that we have, come together with.
Yes.
I'm not concerned about the list of the needs. I mean, there's no question about it. Hands down, always going to go for it. My goal is that if we're going to run a bond, hoping that we'll get future bonds to pass, and if it doesn't, some projects will be cut back or be delayed and we have to wait. So I have a question. So do we have that conversation later on?
So right now,
Yeah.
let's just take questions on the projects themselves, and then we'll have Stiefel present on the numbers, and then we can have all-around conversation. So if you have any questions about the projects.
Okay, so these projects, so moving forward, there won't be any more needs, or this is just the preliminary?
This is just preliminary, Ms. Sun, right? I understand that as the district goes, as it years, there's probably other priorities, right? So at a very high level, we've observed, right? So there's a general list that we have provided you. There could be an addition, there could be other items that come up, right? We don't know that just yet.
But I also want to preface that no matter what the priority is, it comes back to the board for final approval. Is that right?
Yes.
So
that is
no matter
correct.
what, there's a stopgap of accountability with us. It's not like it's a blank check and we're just free willy-nilly without no plan or checks and balances. The projects must come back to the board first to be voted on, whether it's a gym, a new high school, et cetera. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you. Just want to clarify that for folks.
Yeah, and then additionally too, obviously this is a list of things our campuses need, but the reason for the language with the bond is in the instance, actually a neighboring school district had a roof collapse due to a storm. We can't predict that thing, but having
Yes.
the language and the dollars available would allow us to step in and repair that building if something like that happens. So,
Yeah, that's exactly
but it's,
right.
but it's not on the list now, but those are just things that sometimes happen. Member Ortega Romero, did you have any questions about the projects?
No questions, but I really appreciate the detailed presentation. I think the tough part about this is that, these are obviously very specific requests that come from someone, and, obviously there's going to have to be we're going to have to prioritize some of these initiatives, and, telling these people that have been waiting for this, like not right now or something, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just another comment about the projection of these needs. And I understand, like, we can't foresee, like, inclement weather and damage in the language, but none of them address the concern that I have, is that the bonds that comes after, like, to have that pass, we need to think about that, because if we don't, it doesn't matter how great and the need the list is. Again, I think we're all on the same page. I mean, the need is there, I'm all for it. I'm in support of it. It's just the question of, moving forward to secure all these needs moving forward. Like there has to be a momentum that hey, we're all on board, right? And creating this list, you know, I would like to see that priority. You know, I'm trying to say like, it's a nice wish list, and thank you for having this set up. But if you could just sort of make that tag to see what was more of a priority and what was the feedback from it and what was the priority, because what that will create is a buy-in for the community, and to say, okay, if we go back to this board meeting and we looked at it and they saw us having this discussion and seeing the data, like, okay, well, it's 500, but if we scale back and the priority would be this, and each campus would have this, it would be saying like, well, we can see why they're asking for 250 million. Like, you know, like give them a reason for it, you know, like here's the people at the door that want more information. Well, here it is. Here's the data. It's 524 million, but these are the priorities. Can you, you know, support the bond, you know, but, you know, that's just my comment. So, but thank you so much for the information. It is very grandeur, but as I was asking, it was something more of a community buy-in, and it was an opportunity we could have seized.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. President, members of the board, Brian Lundberg with Stiefel. Bear with me here. I'll try to be real succinct and short, but then happy to answer questions. For our bond tax rate right now, it's at a 276 level. That's per $100 of limited assessed value. With the new $250 million of bonds, we anticipate that we'll be able to hold what will be next year's tax rate, whether the bonds pass or not, of about 223. So we expect the tax rate this next year to drop about 20%, and if the election passes this November, we should be able to be at 223 or below. One of the reasons we'll be able to afford to do this is that the 10-year history of assessed value growth in the district on a limited basis has been about 8% per year, but it's also by design of structuring of the payments. And so with that, we anticipate to being able to maintain next year's tax rate of about 223 and hopefully find ways to have some declines thereafter. Just to give you a feel for taxes, on an average value home, limited value home, according to the assessor in the district, of about $155,000. Keep in mind this is the taxable value, the average taxable value on the home. If $100 were to be levied on this, on all properties within the district, and for average value homes, this would be $100, that would raise about $14.5 million in 1 year for the district. Several reasons being the substantial growth in houses in the district and new properties, and that the district's tax base is 50% comprised now of commercial and industrial properties. So for every dollar taxed on the district, commercial and industrial properties are paying half of that right now. So I just wanted to give you a feel for that. The average tax rate just for new bonds in the $250 million range would be an average of 68 cents, but as tax rates decline for existing bond payments and these tax rates were added, we still expect the tax rate to decline over the years. And I don't want to go on a limb and make projections because we don't know what real estate's going to be for the next 5 or 10 years. So I feel good at a conservative 223 to hold that ground. And then if we continue as we have been, should be able to be below that. That's what I prepared on taxes. So, but if you have any questions, let me know.
Members, questions?
Yeah, so we put the question out to the voters to decide on the bond for 250. That's just authorizing that amount up to 250. That doesn't mean we have to use it all at once. We could phase that in. Is that correct?
Mr. President, members of the board, that is correct. If voters were to authorize the bond, you would have 10 years to issue those bonds before they sunset. You can issue no bonds. You can issue some of the bonds. That's all up to the board. Every time we have a bond sale, we come back to the board. And just as you know too, so in terms of spending those proceeds, that also, all those projects come to the board before you actually spend the money on those.
Okay, thank you, because I just wanted to emphasize that just because it's 250 doesn't mean we have to use it all at once. We could phase projects in, select certain projects based off community feedback or staff feedback, which would create a lower tax rate burden to the homeowners. Would that be correct?
Mr. President, members of the board, if you would wait longer than we anticipate, that would allow the tax rate to decline. For this one, we're assuming 5% interest. Rates in history have been, down to 3. That'd be another reason why tax rates would decline. However, rates have also been higher at times too. So we're trying to be realistic, and we assume 5%. In the district's bond sales over the last 5 or 10 years, there's honestly been some rates close to 5, but on the most part, some high 3s and 4s for your bond issues over the last 5-10 years.
And with the prediction of a 20% tax rate drop this year or next year, I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, that's okay. Yeah, and so it gets a little confusing. You'd be calling the election in the current fiscal year, the one we're in right now, and that tax started earlier this fiscal year. So it was set in August by the Board of Supervisors. The election would be next fiscal year, which I call fiscal 2027. That tax rate we anticipate to be 223. If the bonds were to pass, the board may sell a phase of it next fiscal year. The first payment on those wouldn't hit till fiscal 28. So in fiscal 28, we anticipate being able to keep that 223 that'll be in place for next year, which is fiscal 27. So that was clear, but I hope, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't mess it up.
No, you're good. So in other words, no increases for the next couple of years.
That's what we anticipate, yes.
We're anticipating no tax increase for the next couple of years. Okay.
Yep.
So there is no tax increase for the next couple of years, potentially.
Madam President, members of the board, with or without passage of the bondless election, we anticipate tax rates to decline. And in next year, that we anticipate a 20% decline. Thereafter, it will, obviously depend on how fast the bonds are issued. But we do anticipate with that the tax rate will be a max of 223 or lower, hoping for lower.
So what is our constitutional, limit for Tolleson Union High School? Is it around 600 million?
Mr. President, members of the board, bear with me here. I'll do a little math in public, which sometimes gets a little weird. As a high school district, your gross bonding capacity, well, you asked about constitutional capacity. Constitutional capacity is actually 15% of your current full cash assessed value. So right now, that's about 4.5, just over $4.5 billion. And so 10% of that would be 450 million. So another 225 would be 675 million is your gross constitutional bonding capacity right now. We have a state law, though, that says that it would limit it to 10%.
And I believe, how much are we in debt? I think, 310? So
Mr. President, members of the board, with the final sale of the 125 million from previous elections, we anticipate about 434 million being outstanding within this next fiscal year. And as you pay down bonds and with growth in this full cash assessed value, we anticipate no problem to be able to issue the 250 million.
that was my question. What
Sorry.
is in our debt?
I'm sorry?
What is our debt right now within the constitutional, limit? You said it was around 675 million. I don't know. My calculation says more closely to 620 million, and I believe our debt is about 300 million to 310. I believe that's the range. So our area left is within the amount, but if we add that on, that's going to bring us over $500 million, in debt going into the 20-year bond. I assume it's a 20-year.
Mr. President, members of the board, that'd be if you took all the 250 million on after the election. We anticipate selling bonds over a 6-7 year period, trying to be realistic again for that. So the full 250 million wouldn't come on and for another 6 years. And all the while, that time, we're probably paying off to the tune of $30 million. So probably pay off $180, $200 million over the next 6 years before the full $250 million is added.
You know, we're not paying anything. The community is going to pay.
Correct.
So I also want to clarify that, you know, for our LPV values of a home, let's just use the $350 million household, which is on the lower end of our community. What will be their property tax increase per year once they start
Mr.
paying?
President, members of the board, so there are several different values that the assessor keeps. The value that people see on Zillow and think they can sell their home for is usually, these days, it's sometimes double what the assessor's value is of property. So the average value of property.
Like the
on a-
assessed value for the home of 350,000, let's say, again, these are average, we're not saying they're like the set number, so we're gonna take the highs and the lows and then in between. So when we look at the assessed value, let's say for a home value of worth of 350,000, the average as of 2026 is around 35,000. And then from there, like $1.50, like you said. I'm trying to figure out how much this is gonna cost our constituent when they make their decision. Because right now, the senior population on their fixed income are the ones that are hard to convey. We don't want to go there and tell them a lie. We want them to know the facts. And the facts are this bond compared to the debt that we already have that's already in the current property tax that they're paying, plus this bond if it was to pass, and how much that's going to cost them per year. And that actually comes out, you know, like a little bit, you know, high. And for a whole year on a set income when they have bills to pay, and now, their meds. The meds are being attacked. It's going to be attacked at the state level in the coming session of 2027. We know this. Bills are coming up and
Okay,
people are
we
coming up with
can't
ideas.
talk about legislation
I'm
and
just saying
stuff.
that the explanations of the elderly population, that they are the most vulnerable. And we need to convey to them that this is, will be good for their property values, the win and the loss. So if it's going to cost them an extra $500, let's say, based on their assessment, plus other bonds that they're going to overlap, because we share districts with Avondale, which they're going to be running, a $60 million bond. Then we have a feeder school that is running their bonds and pass at $95 million. And we're going to compete with that, with this group of population, as well as young families just starting off, just struggling. So those are like the two groups that we're always very, very concerned about. And that $500 could be life and death for the senior population based on their health, because they're on a fixed income, right? And then you have the younger household that having the same, issue. Again, my concern now is that there's bonds that are going to be overlapped with, the other, district. And then we're all like swarming in the same pool to get the votes. Are we going to work together? If so, that'd be great. If not, that's not going to look good, right? So these numbers doesn't really show the real scenario for these people, because they don't understand the vernacular language that you're using. I do, but I'm just saying, for the average folks, right? They don't even know their numbers. Sometimes they're feeling like, oh, I just know my property tax is this much. So I would like to see some numbers that affects a constituent that we're going to ask to vote for, and how that's going to look like.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'll keep it very brief. I do kind of want to correct one of the figures out here. If you believe your home is worth $350,000, the assessor is likely to value that for limited purposes at 50% of that, or so $175,000, or just more. And in fact, the average value of the average limited property value in the district right now is $155,000. And I won't belabor it, and I don't want to talk back to a board member, certainly, but
Oh, I apologize. I thought that the residential properties are usually assessed about 10%. No, it's 50% you said? Okay. No, I stand corrected if that's the
Mr.
case.
President, members of the board, there's a lot of truth in what you were saying. So that average limited value for a home of 155,000, if you really wanted to calculate how to what your tax
350,000.
is, you have to multiply that limited value by 10%. That's our assessment ratio. But a really short way to calculate taxes is take the tax rate, multiply it by 100, and then multiply it for how many $100,000 your home is. So just using easy math, if you're an average home value of, let's say, 150,000, take the tax rate, multiply it by 100, and multiply it times 1.5, because 150,000 home is 1.5 times the 100. I don't know if that helped.
So
That's
I mean,
what I do.
I think I think we're just doing a different map, but comes out with the same answer. So let's say for the $350,000 homes, divided by 100 and then multiplied by $1.50, and then you get the $525 yearly, which is about $43.75 monthly, which is about the same answer that we're coming. I think we're just doing a different kinds of math. Math you can do. I don't know if anyone does a math teacher out there, but there's like different ways of coming with the same answer. So again, that's the number I'm trying to convey to the community, that this is how much it'll cost them at the end of the day. So if their homes is worth $250,000, which is the average home cost of our elderlies, that have stayed in their homes for more than 20 years, and the value that has gone up. And then with the debt that they already have to pay, that is already, there, that they're going to, double on that with inflation that they're paying for elsewhere. So that amount will affect their livelihood. Now, this is the answer that I'm hearing at the door. And I don't want to belittle this conversation, but they won't even hear me out. So I just asking you, like, what kind of number, like, what can we say? I said about property, values of going up, right? But that didn't really convey. So, like, how can we, better get them to understand that this will be, in the long run, be beneficial to them?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. If I could just be real quick with one more thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, then I'll have a follow-up.
One thing we wanted to emphasize is that there's only so much in your control, and I think, trying to be sensitive to everybody, we're structuring payments in a way that the tax rate is going to go down about 20% this next year, and we're constantly at it to try to do Tolleson Union's part in the overall overlapping tax bill, which you're right, and I'd be glad to, if working with the superintendent, if we want to detail what the overlapping entities are in the district, keeping in mind that the legislature decided that schools would be funded by property taxes, and other governmental entities are funded in a different way. So I hope I don't sound like a smart aleck. I'm hoping to give you quips. I think that's what you asked for, simple kernels to be able to translate.
So you were saying that, so I guess you said the average home value was 175?
155.
Or 155, sorry. And then what would be the annual rate for that? You said it was a 223 number?
Yeah, that'd be for existing payments. For next year, just existing payments, we anticipate the rate will be about 223. And so if we for $100,000 limited value, that'd be $223. But if you wanted to translate that to 155, just take 155 times the 223 divided by 100. So 1.5 times 223, 335.
What, I'm sorry, did you say like the average home for Tolleson Union High School District is 155? 175?
155.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're throwing a lot of numbers around. I know. 155 is what the assessor with the assessor's information, is the average limited value of a home in Tolleson High School.
So, based on what you're saying, the 223 number, that'd be $18.60 roughly a month, $18.60 roughly a month for a bond. Because it's the 223 is the annual number, and then you divide that by 12. Yeah.
So I'm going to take the 223
So,
times 1.5
Mr. President, if I
divided
may,
by
so
12.
the tax rate will be going down next year. So in August, when everybody gets their bill, they will see that the current year, 26, was at 276 for bonds. Next year, it's going to be at 223. That is a decline of 53 cents. So if you do as Brian is saying, just multiply that out by the 100 and the 1.5, that puts you at $79.50. Is how much it's going down next year. So if you are an average homeowner, and since the average is 155 and not 150, the average homeowner is going to see their taxes for Tolleson Union bonds decline by over $80. And what Brian is saying is that, and then once we get to the 223, even with this issuance of 250, because the tax rate would continue to go down in future years, instead of it going down in future years, the 250 would be layered in to keep it at or below the 223. So their tax bill is going to go down by $80 in August, and it would not go back up again during the life of this bond. It'll stay below that rate for the remainder of the bond.
So there will be a savings to the community, and we will be able to invest in student spaces, classroom spaces, extracurricular spaces, et cetera, et cetera.
That is correct. Now, firstly, if the bond was not put forward or voted no on, it would go down by even further than just the $80 that it's going down next year. So yes, not doing a bond, it could be $80 next year. It's down another $10 a year after that, another $10 a year after that. So it would be declining, but it's those gaps where it would be declining is where we're layering in the new payments. Now, even if the board wanted to see subsequent years decline on the tax rate, we would still have the ability to do that because you can structure a repayment out for 20 years. It does not impact the tax rate for the voters to authorize the use of bonds. It does not even impact the tax rate for us to issue the bonds. It impacts the tax rate when we repay the bonds. So based on our repayment structure, let's say if we were doing interest only for a few years and we made it really a back-heavy repayment because we're like, you know what, let the people 20 years from now figure out how they're going to pay off this bond, you would have the ability to do that and still see those declining tax rates and make it a back-heavy repayment because you have a 20-year structure to work with. That's typically not what people do. People typically, most districts try to level out their tax rate, which is what we're looking at here, that we would bring the tax rate down from 276 to 223 and then not allow the tax rate to go north of 223 again.
Member Ortega, questions? Vice President Del Palacio?
Explaining the equations there for us and trying to simplify it. And I think that's what my colleagues are asking, is trying to simplify the numbers there for folks in the community so we understand the true tax impact to their pockets there. And we heard it very clear here that there's going to be a decrease of $80 per homeowner, per home on average. And so it's a great start right there. Thank you.
I have a question. So the decrease of $80, is that over how many years or per year?
So next year, it'll decrease by $80, and then that rate that they're paying would then be the consistent rate. So it'll always be at that lower rate. We would not return to the 276. We'd be at the 223 or lower going forward for the entire life of this bond.
Yeah, just, quick question. So, what happens if we want to go for a lower number that's not 250? What if it's 200? Would we see larger decreases?
Again, Member Ortega Romero, President Chapman, it depends on the restructure of the payment. So whether it's 250, 200, 125, more than likely we're still going to go ahead and restructure the repayment that it levels at the 223. The reason being that once the tax rate goes down, it's very upsetting to people once it ever comes up again. So if we were to do a smaller issuance now, let's say if we did an authorization of 125 and the voters approved 125, we would more than likely be back on the ballot again next year asking for another 125 since we have over $500 million in projects that we're trying to get to. So it would just increase the frequency that we're going out for an election, which does have, I mean, we don't get to be on the ballot for free, so we pay costs there, and also there's transactional costs on our issuances. So it would increase our frequency. It wouldn't necessarily lower the tax rate. If the board gave direction of, we want to see a repayment structure that causes further decreases in future years on the tax rate, we could build that, but the trade-off is that, as Brian alluded to earlier, when we issue the final 125 that we have from the last authorization, we're going to be bumping up close to the statutory limit. And so the constitutional limit really has no bearing on bonds anymore. It's there, it's wonderful, but we're held to the statutory limit. So even though the constitutional limit gives us 15%, we're held to the 10%, or we're going to be bumping up close to the 10% on this issuance. And that matters because then when you set your restructuring on your payment plan, it's the repayments that then open up capacity again, along with rising assessed values. So we have the rising assessed values, but we also need to layer in some repayments to be able to open up that capacity to continue issuing. So no, not necessarily that if we picked a lower number today that's going to impact the subsequent year's tax rate. The subsequent year's tax rate will still more than likely still be at the same amount. Either way, whether it's 125 or 250, that 223 is still going to end up being the 223 that we're shooting for, regardless of what the amount is. It's just going to increase the frequency that we come back to voters and ask again, saying we still have these other projects that are waiting and that we have people advocating for. And in some cases, some of these projects have been sitting on the list for 10 years. CEA, we've been promising CEA new facilities, new spaces since before I came to this district. So I know they've been on the capital improvement plan for over a decade. Westview, we already had those buildings designed. They're teed up, ready to go when that bond failed. University High, one of the top schools in Arizona, and we've been waiting to get them a new facility. At one point, I thought we were building them a new facility. That didn't turn out to be the case, so we are, still waiting on them. And then we have to buy new buses before we open up that school. We do not have enough buses in the fleet to actually transport the students to the new campus. Transportation is not required, as is becoming apparent with everyone, since we have districts now that are whole scale eliminating their transportation department and telling students that they just have to find their own way to school. But that's not what we're doing, and we need to buy new buses if we're going to be able to transport to the new school. So some of this stuff, yes, it can be kicked down the road. It's not necessarily getting a savings on the tax rate. It would probably more than likely still be the same impact on taxes, and it's just us increasing our frequency on how often we're asking for the voters to once again come forward and vote for a bond.
So I have a question. You mentioned that I thought the statute and the constitutional limit is the same thing. Apparently it's not. Constitution is 15 and the statute is 10. So we go by the statute, of course. So that's what I was asking, was the whichever that is applicable. So it's the 10% for the statute, right?
Mr. President, members of the board, correct. You have to live with the lower limit of the statute of 10%, which we're mapping and paying attention to closely.
Yes. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Excuse me.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so we reviewed the projects. We've heard from Stiefel on the numbers. Additional comments regarding the project?
Again, I want to thank our folks who joined us today to share the information, the projections, the numbers, certainly the tax rates and the tax impact. I know it is our intent, and it's my intent here to give as much information as possible to make an informed decision. And want to make it very clear that tonight we're not issuing a bond. This is just a vote to let the voters decide what they would like to do and what they would like to see. In Bryva's presentation, as you could see, the escalation increases over the next few years. So there is an option to kick the can down the road, but then it gets more expensive. Things cost more, costs go up. And so that's, I even see it as a greater burden. But anyway, thank you all for the information that you all presented. It was very clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say that, I think that when I think of this bond and override, I think like the only sense of comfort that I get is, that we're going through a democratic process. We learned about this in school, and ultimately, yes, voters will decide. If they trust in these investments, they will vote yes, and if they don't, they'll vote no. And both disrespected because that is what our democracy is about. So I also want to thank our partners here that came in and shared, definitely, took it all in and learned about, just different costs and projects and tax rates and everything. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Right, yeah, no, I also just want to say thank you to our administrative team, certainly our partners for putting together the numbers and the presentations. As Superintendent said, we've had a lot of projects that have been kind of sitting on the back burner for 10 plus years. And we keep saying projects. I mean, these are student spaces predominantly, whether it's classrooms, extracurricular spaces, buses, courtyards. The kids have been asking us for courtyards in the Stugo meetings for years now, shade, fans, things like that. So those are things that we're trying to provide to ensure that they can build the campus culture, the campus climate, the educational and extracurricular experiences that they want, that they're asking for. I think, I enjoyed my time at Westview, and I've seen a lot of improvements on that campus for sure over my time, and I've certainly seen them across the district, and I know you've seen some just even recently at La Jolla, obviously. These are things that we're putting towards our students. These are not spaces that we're enjoying. We go visit them, but we're not there every day. And certainly to some extent, a lot of our district office staff aren't there. This isn't for the adults. Some of them are, co-use for sure. But these are student spaces. To what my colleagues were saying, I agree. This is us putting together a plan to invest in our students and our schools, and this is us asking them if they share that vision. For me, it's that simple because we're just asking the voters to consider that. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the bond proposal as is. Do I have a second?
Second?
I'm sorry. Or yes, sorry, adopt the resolution as presented. I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sutton? All right, thank you. That motion carries. All right, our second action discussion item is discussion consideration to approve special maintenance and operations budget override. Superintendent Caius.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board. Brian is available to answer any questions on the tax impact of the maintenance and operations override. As a reminder for the board and the community, our maintenance and operations override right now is going into phase down. So we've had a 15% override for a number of years now. We went through this before about a decade ago where the override went into phase down for 1 year. It dropped from the 15% to the 10%, and then it was restored back to the 15%. That is where we are at now, where the override did not pass at the last election. So it will be phasing down next year from 15% to 10%, which is an impact to the district of over $5 million that will be declining in revenue due to the override phasing down next year. This question is to bring the override back to the 15%, and failure to move the question or to pass the question would cause the override to then go down to 5%, which now we would be over $10 million down in annual revenue from where we were when the override was at the full 15%. But any questions about the tax impact of the override returning to the full 15%? Brian is available to answer.
Well, and real quick before we do that, can you just share with the communities, because obviously we just talked about the bond, what are the things that we use the override dollars for?
The override dollars are primarily salaries and benefits. So it is an instant impact on the programs that we are able to offer for our students. So right now, we have a number of CTE programs. What are we up to, George? 19 CTE programs? 19 CTE programs that are available for our students. So it helps with covering those programs. It helps with, you heard earlier how we have a very great social worker to student ratio. So it directly impacts our people. And when you impact our people, our adults who are serving the students, then you are also impacting the students. So it is just a direct impact on salaries and benefits is the primarily impact of a maintenance and operations override. As a reminder, Arizona is 49th in the nation in regards to funding education. The override helps us move up slightly, but still not getting us to where national average numbers are. So that is the mechanism that Arizona has in place on how they allow communities to opt in on whether or not they would like to see a stronger education program in their community.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Superintendent Kayes or Mr. Lundberg?
Yes, for the override in 2025, it was a renewal, and this is, again, a renewal.
Member Sun, Mr. President, no, this now has to be presented as an increase because we went into phase down, and we are asking to go from the 10% back to 15%. When you're at 15% already and you're asking to stay at 15%, then you can word it on the ballot as a continuation. But now that we have entered phase down, it will have to be worded on the ballot as budget increase.
So with the bonds, you mentioned the decrease of 20%, and then as we pay out, we can adjust and fill in the hole. So for the bonds, I mean, can we say renewal or non-renewal, or what is it? So I'm just concerned about the language we're going to be using in the pamphlet summary. How are we going to word that?
Yes, so on the override, it is going to say budget increase, and that's set by statute. We don't have control over when it's going to say budget continuation versus budget increase. On the bond, Brian, remind me the specific statute language. Is it bond approval or bond approval, yes, no?
Mr. President, members of the board, yes, it's just bonds, basically bonds yes or bonds no.
Yes, so say bonds yes, bonds no.
No, I'm saying
Because you can't say continuation with a bond. It's
I
bonds yes
understand.
or bonds no.
But for the override,
If it had passed last year, the question was budget continuation versus now it's going to have to say budget increase
on the ballot.
on the ballot. Right there where you click yes or no, you were going to see the words budget increase.
Thank you.
Members, any questions for Superintendent? All right. Yeah, again, thank you, sir. Again, yeah, this is just continuing investments, asking the community to continue these investments in our students, having, low classroom ratios, social workers, guidance counselors, all these other things. There's just another way that we're trying to invest in our students every single day. With that, I'll make a motion to
Hold on one
approve-
second. I just have one comment. So for the overrides and in the bonds election in 2025, we saw the numbers and we saw the differences. And, I'm just very concerned now with the new language, if that's going to be affected. The override is something we should go out and push for. I think the community will really, you know, back on it if that was the focus. And, you know, ideally not to push for the bond this year. And then potentially we can have future bonds and to get all our wish lists asked for. If we could just take a break and let things settle and then come back stronger, we will have a better chance of getting our wish list of the $524 million. Even though there may be a slight escalation with the inflation and whatnot, I think the cost that we are going into could potentially harm us in passing future bonds and even override. So that's just, you know, my concern. All this is just going to swirl in a way that we're putting all our eggs in one basket. And if we fail and the numbers get lower, we need to address those conversations. And that's what I've been trying to push for. I'm not against the bonds, I'm not against the overrides, but to think about the longevity of this district and its needs under this current atmosphere that we are under.
Motion to, oh, sorry.
Well, I'll just say that real briefly, I think one of the best investments we can make is into our staff, and that means all staff. It was mentioned earlier, librarians, nurses, bus drivers, security guards, coaches, instruction assistants, et cetera. Hear a lot of folks talk about the return on investment, and if you look at our data in terms of our student achievement and our letter grades, it's going up. And I truly believe that's because our community has invested in supporting our schools, because we know the state's not going to do it. We know the federal government's not going to do it, but our community has stepped up to take care of us. And because of that, higher graduation rates, proficiency, testing goes up, our letter grades are going up, and we are seeing scores we haven't seen ever in the district's history. And I can equate that to smart investments into our staff that we have here, that we talked about earlier today, that we celebrate at every meeting. And so with that.
No, with that, I mean, with what Member Del Blasio mentioned is that that's what we're trying to preserve. That's what we want to continue to have, not to put all our eggs in one basket now and potentially ruining our wish list moving forward, jeopardizing everything we just all said, promoting teachers, students, our letter grades improving. All that will be under jeopardy if we go out like this. I mean, the override we have to go out for. That is where we should focus on for the time being and hold the line and to diminish the unprecedented atmosphere that we're experiencing. This is not worth the gamble of the future of this district for the sake of the students in our community. Because this is a one shot. We're putting everything into this one bullet. That's risky. It's that, okay, well, we're gonna let the community decide, but that decision has consequences. The longevity of it, the projection of the optics that they are gonna perceive. They're not gonna sit here and listen to us with all these numbers. They're not gonna have the understanding of what we're going through, the discussion. And even if we were to talk to them on the street, we don't have this time to convey to them the importance of this bond and overrides. So once again, I ask that, is this a wise move at this time? I feel like we may jeopardize our future timeline with our bonds, that we may not be able to pass another bond if this fails. Potentially, we're talking about 5, 10, possibly even up to 15 years if we reach to a number that's so low that we won't be able to climb out of. And that was something that no one talked about, no studies, no information, but yet it's been shared in other forms, but not here, where it should be heard.
Okay. Yeah, I have a lot more confidence in our community, understanding the investments that we're asking for, and certainly our ability to communicate them. We've always had a supportive community, and I mean, they know what's best for them. They know what's best for our schools. So, with that, I will motion to approve the special maintenance and operations budget override election. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sun? All right. Thank you. That motion carries. Our last action item, discussion review of board policy GCCG medical leave assistance program. Am I turning that over to Ms. Almaraz? Oh.
Good evening, President Chapman, Vice President De Palacio, and members of the board. This policy was actually previously adopted in March of 2025, and we had made some revisions to it because I think our old policy had been in place for many, many years, and so no one was really using it because of the language, and so we wanted it to be more conducive to our staff. So we did look at other policies throughout other districts, and we kind of took from different districts and put it into what we currently have. And we ran it for a year, and we realized that even in this year, there were still some pieces that were hard to understand. And the language of the tiered system, while it sounded great, it was very hard to manage. And our business office has to manage that based on days and who's taken what. And so we went back to the drawing board and we looked at policies again throughout districts, just surrounding districts, very similar to ours. And so we did some revisions again to make the language very clear. And the dates are, or I'm sorry, the tiers, the time frame is completely changed again. So instead of the tiered system, we made it mimic the FMLA days, which is 60 days. And so we went 55 because there's a 5-day lag. And so this is the new language that we are proposing.
Thank you. Members, any questions on the policy first read? All right. Thank you, Ms. Almaraz. Appreciate it. You had the hardest item of the night. All right. So now I will move to executive session. A motion to call for an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A2, ARS 38-431.03A3, and ARS 15-843A for the purpose of reviewing consideration of a hearing officer's recommendation to expel a student on the matters of SD 2026-002, 003, and 004. Do I have a second? All right. I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio? Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sun? Thank you, everyone. We do have just a couple of things afterwards, so if you're not sticking around, have a good evening. Otherwise, we'll see you when we get back.
Excellence in academics.
Excellence in athletics.
Excellence in college and career readiness.
Excellence in extracurriculars.
Excellence in traditions.
Excellence in services. excellence, and visual performing arts.
Excellence in every endeavor.
We're just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot more work to do. So where do we go from here? A+ School of Excellence.
La Jolla being an A school is really exciting. It took a long way to get here and it was a lot of hard work, so it's really cool to see the accumulation of our work and then now seeing it's like, look at all that hard work paid off.
It's great recognition for the kids that we have, which are some awesome kids, and the teachers, that all the work that they've done in all curriculum, all classes, the dedication they have to make our students' lives better, the time that they put in. I think it's showing all the effort that a lot of people have put into this.
And when I started in 2017, we were a C. And so now being an A and being a part of that growth and change is really, if I think about it too hard, I might cry because it's really cool. We deserve that.
The thing that put us over the edge is that we had a principal who was steadfast in his commitment and consistency with how he wanted to approach staff, along with getting the right administrative team in play. Now I think we've got a team that works well together, that understands the mission, that understands the vision, and that we all support that and help the faculty understand that as well.
I think the journey has been 3 years long, so the A label is not just 1 year flash in the pan, we found something glorious. It is an accumulation of 3 years of work, commitment to the PLC process, and commitment to student learning over teaching, and that commitment has resulted in higher test scores.
It's definitely a team effort. I know that was one thing Dr. Sorensen really hit on today is from our support staff to cafeteria workers to everybody on campus every day. Makes a big difference to how we got here. So a big thank you to everybody, including our students. You know, students are a big part of it too. So it's just great for the community and great for everybody in the Avondale area.
I'm so happy for these kids. Of course, we're here, celebrating as a staff, but this is 100% about the kids. And I'm very happy for them. I couldn't be happier that we're in this position. And that to let you all know, we're not done. We're going higher than this.
We deserve this. We've earned it. I think I'm lucky because I've gotten a front row seat and I've gotten to be a part of this growth. So we just keep going.
Something I would like to add on is Dr. Sorensen put in a lot of work and I think that should be recognized, and he really drove it. And I know sometimes it's hard and he gets pushback, or he's hearing all of these 125 teachers be like, ah, but we're doing it. I'm really proud of him.
Well, now that we're A, that just means we have to grind even harder because we have to maintain the A. That's the expectation. This needs to be something that just is. It's just what we do. Next up is A+ School of Excellence. Next up is IB World School. Next up is multiple A ratings all in a row until we are the perennial high school in Arizona, in the nation, and the world.
Sierra Linda is on the rise. Whether our students dream of going to college, joining the military, or finding the perfect career after graduation, we will be there every step of the way. We believe the high school experience should be filled with unforgettable moments.
My plans for after graduation would have to be attending Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, pursuing a bachelor's degree in psychology.
My school is my community.
My favorite thing about Sierra Linda has to be all the opportunities on campus, including the electives you can choose, the clubs, and the sports on campus.
Sierra Linda offers career and technical education options, performing and visual arts electives, 17 different sports, and more than 30 student clubs. We believe in your path, your future, your school. Join us. Let's rise together.
In Phoenix, we are the #1 public high school.
University High School has consistently been an A school and recognized as a top public school in the state as well as the nation.
Just a testament to the hard work that our kids put in, no matter what the variables are, the continuity and the continued sense of excellence is really what makes this special.
Every year is special, and every year I say, I'm not going to get attached to these freshmen, so someday I can retire, and that never happens.
Our students are, of course, motivated by academic achievement, but that's not the totality of who our students are. Offering them opportunities for volunteer work, clubs that give them opportunities to give back to their community. That's a big part of it too.
We are defying the odds and making a huge difference in our kids' lives. And this makes a difference in college knowing and going, as well as the future careers and even the networks that they are establishing and evolving in their future as they grow.
It changed my life coming here, from where I was as a teacher to where I am now, and to be able to give back to students and help them do whatever they want to do, that's really special. I love this place, and I'm so happy that I'm here, and I'm so happy that I get to share this with my colleagues.
I love what we do here. I love watching the students flourish and go and get to do great things. They come back for Alumni Day and they talk about how great their experience was here and how it prepared them for college.
We are enrolling now, so the students that we are looking for are highly motivated, highly talented students who want to make a change in the world. They're invested, there will be homework every night, but you will also be around this community of people who support you and challenge you, and you will grow. So enrollment is open at University High School, and we are seeking for highly motivated students who want to make a change.
Located in Avondale, Westview High School has a long history of academic excellence, athletic success, and community tradition. Our values of pride, performance, and perseverance ring true in all we do.
I love Westview because of the commitment that I see every day within the students and the teachers. We have exceptional programs here for the kids. We have these programs that can give the kids something to leave school with that might better their life.
Westview offers a great academic tradition with experienced teachers who really know how to reach our students.
My name is Clarice Miller, and I have been teaching English in the Tolleson Union High School District for 29 years.
My name is Paul Valkenberg. I've been here 31 years.
I became a teacher because I wanted to make a difference in the world. What has kept me here my entire career has been the relationships that I've made with my colleagues, the relationships I've made with my students. There's nothing like it.
We've got 4 dual certified math teachers that can teach at the community college. So we have very skilled teachers. Part of the reason that we've done so well isn't because our students are any different than anybody else, but our expectations are different.
Westview offers an abundance of career and technical education programs. Did you know that Westview is the only school in the district to offer welding? Come to Westview for leadership opportunities. Westview offers an excellent JROTC program for students looking for something beyond the traditional classroom. Westview students are star athletes, guided by caring and experienced coaches.
I have worked at Westview High School for 26 years. I've been coaching wrestling for all 26 years. Got multiple state champions. My claim to fame is I do everything the kids do. I'm 54 years old. If I say run 3 miles on the bleachers, I run 3 miles on the bleachers. If I say we're gonna do 100 push-ups, I do 100 push-ups. And when I can't do that, I probably won't coach anymore. It changes your relationship with the school and the kids.
And don't forget about our outstanding visual and performing arts programs, JAG class, and student government. There is no shortage of leaders at Westview.
I really enjoyed being involved at school. I have a lot of past experience with pushing me to just be my very best. Giving back to my school, my community, and organizations around me in any way I can just kind of push me to be my best and do my best here at Westview.
Senior year is a highlight for me because you get to look back and look at all your accomplishments. I'm excited to go to college. I really like school, so I feel like college would be a great experience for me.
I plan to graduate and then go to McNeese State University down in Louisiana, and I committed to play Division I soccer there. Something that really makes the school stand out to me was the teachers on campus, their education that they've come from, and everything that they bring to the students.
At Westview, we know how to get things done. Our students are determined to reach their goals. Westview has opportunities to earn college credits across multiple departments, including math, English, science, and more. Our reputation as a leader in education with caring teachers, a robust academic program, and extracurricular options for our students truly stands out. Your future is bright when you become a Knight. Join us today.
Being an A school validates from the outside what we already knew on the inside.
We knew that we had a really good shot at it this year, and so all year long we've been just crossing our fingers because we know the good work that we did last year.
We've been getting the ACT results for a long time, seeing the difference between kids when we first got them than how they are now.
Everyone on this campus sees the hard work that the students and staff, the entire staff, put in every single day. So we know we're doing great things here.
Knowing that West Point received an A or is an A school
It just brings a lot of joy to us here at the Office of Learning and Academic Success.
It's a testament to public education is doing its job. Our students are getting the education they need, the supports that they need, the extracurriculars that they need outside of academics.
What we do with our freshmen all the way through, that's what results in a strong graduation rate, or them showing strong academic achievement, or being involved in CTE and the performing arts and all the things that make them well-rounded students.
It's having that reputation of having kids who are going to amazing schools across the country, going for free.
This is the expectation now. We're looking at it as we are at a school, so that's our floor, and really not be satisfied with where we're at, but continue to grow and be even better at it.
When you open a new high school and a big comprehensive high school, you are helping not only your students, but also your staff build that culture of support and making sure that everyone has everything they need to be successful with students.
This is a comprehensive high school within our district, and that's the first that we've seen get an A, which now sets the bar and lets all of our comprehensive high schools know you can all be an A.
Having these kids who have gone on to Ivy League schools or getting major scholarships even at schools like ASU and U of A locally, those kind of things to point at and say, hey, this kid did this, you can do this.
I'm really proud of Mrs. Haskins, her team. I know it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. I'm just proud of West Point and for all that they've done for our students and for our families.
Oh, don't underestimate Principal Haskins. She already has her eyes on some other prizes.
This group of teachers, they work together, they believe in each other, they believe in these students, and they're just passionate about it. And I'm just so proud that they're getting that recognition for what they've done.
The benefits of unified sports are social participation and the exposure to new activities, things that they might not have had otherwise had opportunities to participate in.
When we build our equipment and our kids who can't typically participate are able to do something independently, the joy that they get from doing that activity for the first time is incredible.
I didn't really like playing in front of people in the beginning because I thought I wasn't good at it. And then once I got used to playing in front of people, I got a little bit out of my shell, and now I'm comfortable playing with other people.
I learned that I need to be confident.
Confident.
Oh, you want to be more confident?
Yeah.
You learn to be more confident?
Special Olympics has had such an impact on the Arizona community as a whole because we are really focused on community for all. It doesn't matter what kind of situation you're in, what is your disability. We are really here for everybody, making life happen for everybody, making fun happen for everybody, because sports are fun.
We've been playing like different kind of sports like volleyball, and we played this one game. It's called that. We wear these like uniforms, stuff like that. Like whoever had the ball, you stop, and we throw it to our teammate. Now we just actually legit play badminton day. We stopped and been training super hard that day.
Funnest, most happiest people I've ever seen in my life. It's just every day is just they have that positivity that can spread everywhere, like it's contagious.
Unified Sports benefits students with and without disabilities in just so many ways. You see them come into the class at the beginning of the year and they're very shy, not very aware of how to act or behave, and then you just see these relationships blossom and then grow, and they truly do become like a team, and they're super close, super tight, and our students really do show really great examples of this throughout competitions, is really pushing, supporting those that do have disabilities, and just having those friendships and building that support and having that support for one another.
I really enjoy dancing because I learned that when the first time I danced, I was shy, but then I realized that dancing can be not just about dancing, it can be about making memorable memories.
During these past few months of the year when we started, I feel that the most memorable moment is when we all started playing, not knowing what we were doing, but we still figured it out in front of everyone.
We love everything unified, bringing people together, athletes, partners, giving them that normal experience of a team. And as a district, we came together and said, let's plan these events, district events.
At first, I was coming into it not knowing what to expect, and I feel like that's most cases for like things that you haven't tried before. But I definitely feel that I've grown so much with it. I've learned a lot, and it's something that I want to do more with. Like, I want to be a part of my future.
I think that you can look at the footage of students and see the smiles on their faces and know that what Unified Sports is offering those students in general is a great deal of independence, success, and joy. I think you can look at any single player and be like, this program is making a difference.
I think the partners too, like
for sure,
they get really excited to learn about our switch stuff and all the equipment we use, and then encouraging their athlete to participate. So I think it's a growing and learning opportunity for them that they really enjoy.
Join it because it's something where you're gonna not only learn how to play a sport, but you're gonna learn social skills with different people, knowing that when we go out into the real world, it's not just gonna be us, it's gonna be other people. And they're no different than us, but it's just showing that we're gonna have that type of connection with special education than just gen ed kids.
I don't know, I just think Unified is one of the greatest programs that high schools can offer, and I hope that we are able to have more and more Unified classes that not just cater to Unified Sports, but then cater to all different opportunities and interests. So hopefully our program just continues to grow.
There's a new weapon on the market.
Yeah, it's so powerful, it can take out more than one person at the same time, and you never have to reload. It can get past security.
I heard it was so small that it can fit in your pocket. No way my parents will find out about this.
I heard it could strike at the touch of a button.
Report, don't repost.
Stop social media threats now.
It's never a joke.
Excellence in academics.
Excellence in athletics.
Excellence in college and career readiness.
Excellence in extracurriculars.
Excellence in traditions.
Excellence in services.
Order. Thank you. Our first action discussion item under J, discussion consideration to expel student in the matter of student discipline hearing SD 2026-002. Make a motion to accept the hearing officer's recommendation. Do I have a second?
Second.
I heard Miguel first, so we'll give it to Miguel. All right, vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sun? Yes. All right, thank you. The motion carries. Discussion item number 2, expel student in the discipline hearing ST 2026-003. Motion to accept the hearing officer's recommendation. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sun? All right, that motion carries. Discussion and consideration to expel student in the matter of ST 2026-004. Make a motion to accept the hearing officer's recommendation. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio?
Yes.
Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
Member Sun? All right, that motion carries. All right, request for future agenda items. If you have any requests now, you can send those to Superintendent Calles. All right, with that, our next meeting is June 14th, or what is that, 12? Oh, June 16th, sorry. June 16th. With that, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I vote yes. Vice President Del Palacio? Yes. Member Ortega Romero?
Yes.
And Member Sun. All right, thank you, everybody. We are adjourned. Have a good evening.